Alright, so we don't have a whole lot of time in this mission. I don't know what it is specifically with this map and not giving us a whole lot of in-game time, but it's just kind of a running trend. Anyway, you send Kaiba up here. Right now, something's probably clicking in your mind if you've seen a certain YouTube video about this game. And this is why, like I said before, the fact that Metal Dragon has a radius the size of the Manhattan Project is going to come into play. You actually want to send Mokuba over here. Who knows, Kaiba might even be able to activate this with how wide his hitbox is. You got a few monsters we gotta worry about. I think... Oh, dude, Labyrinth Ruler's actually gonna do sick damage here because the Shell Shock affects, or the Shock Shell. I keep saying Shell Shock. That's a condition. We don't really use that term anymore, but it's a condition. But with how this affects machines, this is actually gonna help us quite a lot. I don't know. I feel like I can't talk about Shell Shock without immediately thinking of the George Carlin clip, and that just kind of shows the knowledge behind George Carlin. Interestingly enough, though, that rant of his has actually been somewhat disproven, because it does say that after the term got renamed to post-traumatic stress disorder, it did increase the amount of treatment available. However, I don't know if that's a result of actually... I don't know if that has to do with the actual term itself being renamed. It's more likely just a result of how... Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Anyway, correlation does not necessarily equal causation is what I'm trying to say. What the heck are you guys doing? You're blitzing my guy. You're blitzing Beta. What the heck? I think I'm gonna have to bail out of this. This is looking unsalvageable. Wait a minute. Was I thinking of a different ability there? What happened that it does more damage to machine monsters? Shoot, I must have confused that with another item. Okay, this is a small problem here. Okay, good, they attacked somebody else this time. But yeah, obviously, if they had the same amount of, like, knowledge, money, and resources available back then, they probably would have treated it as well, too. So, I don't know if it's necessarily that renaming it made things better. It didn't necessarily make anything worse, though, so take of that what you will. And I like how the camera actually has to back up because Valkyrion is such a tall boy. Hey, I'm a pretty tall guy, too. I can respect the effort there. So now this is going to be nothing more than, let's see how many times we can hit them before they fall over. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. They're out of attack, so we can just go crazy. Gonna try to take out Ryuga Shinpower first. Notice how this monster appears so frequently, but we don't have the regular Ryu Kaishin. And yeah, I pronounced it both ways there because I still don't know which one's accurate. I think Kaishin is more accurate, but, like, I don't know the language, so could be anything. Just enough. So, somewhere around here, we are going to encounter... There's 2 recruitable monsters in this mission. One of which you'll find pretty easily. The other one is basically a science project. So I will say, if you have picked Kaiba's campaign first, this is where you put Two-Headed King Rex in the front of Kaiba's party, because that has the biggest radius out of any monster he would have right away. But again, Black Metal Dragon, or just Metal Dragon, is a lot better. Okay. I know I comment on how missing these attacks is dumb normally. That's literally multiple melee hits from close range. I'm not sure what's dumber, that or the freaking magical energy blast. But I do like how they just instantly fall back 90 degrees, bending at the knee. It's a simple animation, but I'm not gonna lie, it does at least look kind of funny the first time. There we go. Baphomet's gonna start earning his keep. And now, way above the power level of Tiger Axe, go Roozies. See, this is a little more like it in terms of Beast Warriors. Which, are you a beast or a warrior? Let's find out. Warrior. Still got 2 mountain warriors as well. This is actually mildly concerning because we're fighting them on a field this time, so that definitely makes them stronger than Tiger Axe's team. But we've got Dark Energy to buff us, so who cares? See, this is why I like Dark Monsters, is because it's so easy to just buff them to... There's no other way to say it. You buff them to hell, and then they can raise hell on everybody around them. Now, I swear that if you had the camera at a certain angle when you're in this field backdrop, you can see something in the background. Let me see a second. I swear that there's like a very specific way you can see something moving in the background, like a weird dinosaur type thing, but I don't actually remember what it would be. Anyway, concerningly, they're going to start blitzing the Summon Skull. Not really what I like. Everybody seems to hate the Summon Skull, and I don't know why. Let's just wait. We only have a limited number of attacks. We may as well take advantage of all of them. They're not taking advantage. But by using a Dark Energy... Over 1,000 damage from a non-critical hit. Okay, no, I take it back. The Rain of Hellfire missing, that's where I draw the line. Just guard. Yeah, more than enough there. And now we get the Mountain Warriors. Yeah, I guess they had to save that one for us. Return to the base. They don't have... Okay. Thunder Dragon's Shock Blast does run the risk of paralyzing us, which is mildly problematic, but it's only got 2 attacks. Not quite enough. This'll be enough, though. I'm thinking I should actually red medicine here. These guys do have a lot of different attacks available, so they run the risk of wearing us out. Also, I like how, because Bakuri Box can't sit still and actually does gyrate a little bit forward and back, the radius of the medicine gyrates with him. It's an interesting detail that they actually did move it that way. Could have just left it stationary, but I'm not sure if it would be more or less work to program it to actually follow the monster. I guess it would be the least work if they just left it as the narrow little tube, and obviously it doesn't, because when you're using a large monster, then the radius does completely cover that What is going on here? I'm just gonna start defending. They got some type of vendetta for this thing. They'll be out of attack soon. Sooner rather than later. It's like, when will we get the free slurm? Soon enough. That's not soon enough. Yeah, I'm liking the new Futurama episodes that have come out. Obviously, they're not going to be as good as the show was at its peak, but I don't think anyone was really expecting that. It's just kind of a way to, you know, see the characters interact again. It helped close some loose plot threads, like the thing about Amy and Kip's kids. That episode just came out the other day. I'm liking it so far. Obviously, some of the episodes are probably going to be a little bit lame, but I'm just happy that we're getting what we're getting. There is one thing I'm very concerned about, though, and that is I don't know what they can do for a new finale, aside from Fry going home for good, and I really don't want that to be a thing, because, like, his story arc has been done so well up until this point. The thing about him being with Leela and having another chance to, like, experience love with her, you know, now that he's spent so long in the future. I mean, they even say it's 3023, so he's been there for such a long time, but, you know, obviously they're not going to age him because it's a cartoon. But, like, spent basically an entire lifetime there almost, and I don't know, I don't want them to take that away. What I would kind of like to see them do is, and I know this would be the schmutzy thing, but if he goes back temporarily and then decides he wants to go home again, like back to the future. If he decides he wants to go back to the future again after that. And I guess they kind of did that in Bender's Big Score, if you want to count that. Because, like, he spent a good 12 years there, I think it was, but then he became Lars, and I don't know. I feel like that would be way too many paradoxes at that point. I mean, granted, the show doesn't really care too much about paradoxes. That's kind of how it ended anyway, that movie. If you even want to call it a movie. It's weird, because it originally was, but then it got repurposed into being in 4 different episodes, and I don't know. The whole discrepancy about that's kind of weird. It's like, they got the license to do 4 movies, and then when the show came back for real, it just treated them as 4 4-part episodes in rapid succession. Oh, get away from me. fast. Maybe I should have thought that through a hair better. Right. Okay, if I can finish this freak off early on, I can just bail out of here. Let Mokuba take over or something. But no, I'm expecting there to be like a dud episode coming up soon, and everybody rants and raves talking about how they ruined the show. Let's be fair. Not every episode before this point was, not every episode knocked it out of the park. Some were just kind of average, and there's probably like one or two that were just straight up bad that I'm not even thinking of right now. Now, okay, I guess it's subjective, of course. Some people may say there were a lot of episodes that were bad. I think that most of the show was of a pretty high quality. There were just a few episodes that definitely were not in the same discussion. But, like, even then, there's a huge difference between the episodes that were great and the episodes that were just okay. So, I don't know. It's very obviously not going to replicate the same feel that it had at its peak, but at the very least, we're getting what we're getting. The voice cast stayed on. We are just missing all over the place. Try to retreat. Good. Yeah, the voice cast stayed on. We're getting some resolution to old plot threads. I'm happy to see that. And you can't really ask for too much more than that when a show gets revived after like a 10-year gap. Take over, take over, take over. Thank you. I'll take it. I will take that gladly. Okay. We're just getting lucky and getting a lot more criticals lately. Poison should finish it off. I swear, I can't think of that word without thinking of King's Quest V, where it's like, horrors of a snake. How the heck? Okay, alright, whatever. Apparently this game does not like King's Quest V. Something that my buddy Corey referenced that he didn't even realize at first was, from that game, is we were out at dinner the one time, and he drinks his water. He's like, nectar of the gods. And it took me a second to even register. I'm just like, I beg your pardon? I forget who he said uses that quote. If it was like some like Pokemon YouTuber or somebody uses that quote. I don't remember who, and that's where he got it from. I'm just like, okay, that is not a reference I would have expected you to make. But I'm kind of impressed that you did. Wild to me that we can cross 7k and it doesn't actually level us up. I get that realistically not every multiple of 1,000 is gonna be a level up, but it just, I don't know, it feels anticlimactic when it doesn't happen. Okay, what does the boss use here? Two blue medicines. It's mildly problematic. Seems like a good person to send for this. Okay, so the YouTube video that a lot of people think of. Oh, hello. Yeah, this will actually help quite a bit. Quick attack. Let's get 2 of these for the heck of it. This is a pretty overpowered healing item. I'm gonna restrict it for this challenge actually because that's pretty strong. All right, now YouTube video says that you want to build a cannon and then use the watchtower to double its length and have Kaiba stand at around the edge of it, like right where the radius goes, and then around noon you get the monster. Yeah, it's a roaming recruitable monster, so this one actually is roaming, which is what the text has been saying the whole time, and I don't know, it's not 100% guaranteed to appear. It's kind of scuffed, and if it doesn't show up when it's supposed to, then I'm going to be irritated, honestly. I think as long as I'm about here, I should be okay. And we'll have Weevil try to earn his keep. And yes, it has to be Kaiba specifically who does this, okay? What is this little patch over here for? That's weird. Whatever. Yeah, nobody else can do this. Kaiba and Pegasus are the only people required to be in this mission, and Pegasus is just not allowed to do this for whatever reason. Now, if it gets to noon and we miss the window, I'm not really sure what to do, other than just suck it up and deal with it. I don't know. Since we are doing this campaign second, it's not as useful as it would be if we were doing this first. But, like, notice how the time limit here is actually pretty strict. That does come up. There's not really a whole lot of time to hunt for it. And unfortunately, people haven't really labbed out a good spot to look other than at noon when it's supposed to appear right here. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Beta Neos. Okay? This is straight up the story of Neos like 2 years early. This is Moisture Creature, the weird 2800 attack entity of water that for some reason is now a being in a spacesuit. So, this is actually an alien from outer space, like the real world outer space, and somehow ended up getting trapped in this game. How this makes sense, I don't know, and this doesn't change the ending or anything. We have no idea what this is meant to be about, but yeah. We now have access to a monster that starts with 2,800 attack points at level 1, and this is only the 7th mission of the game. Also, it's a spirit monster, so it can learn magic. Also, it only has 1 attack slot. Yes, I'm serious, it only gets 1 attack. It has a maximum of 3, which sounds bad until you remember that Power of Nature can increase the attack slots available, so we can buff this sucker up to high heaven. Yeah, when it's a dark monster, you're buffing them to hell. When it's a spirit monster, you're buffing them to high heaven. It's pretty simple and straightforward, isn't it? Alright, I'm just gonna keep whittling this fool down. I do as much damage as I can, she'll just burn through the blue medicines trying to save herself. Come to think of it, I don't have healing items, do I? That might be a problem. Because if Flame Swordsman goes down, I mean, I'll be alright, but I have an opening, I'm gonna take it. Good. Alright, they're guarding. I'm okay with that. Mech Hunter this game? Let's see. But yeah, if you fail to get Moisture Creature, you can see the type of nonsense you have to go through to try again. And, I mean, if you're resetting the save, then obviously you gotta get Garuzzi's a second time as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with Garuzzi's as a recruitable monster on its own, but just the fact that we have access to something this strong at this level, it's... like, if you are doing this challenge run, Kaiba first, it's 100% necessary. And in fact, maybe when I do that eventually, I will use the cannon strategy just so that I don't screw up. Great, we're gonna be just short of finishing this freak off. Go figure. Whatever. Hardly worth the effort. This will break the guard, I'm sure of it. Yeah, it was an okay break. I don't know, I guess I shouldn't have expected too much. Alright. Not a lot of gold, but that's because we had the burn time on the clock.